Hello and welcome all to another webinar of Leadinfo. Today Lars from Maatwerk Online has joined. Welcome.
Thank you for inviting me.
Yeah, happy to have you here. Could you introduce yourself for the audience?
Yeah, my name is Lars. I'm owner of Maatwerk Online, a digital marketing agency in Rotterdam in the Netherlands.
Yeah.
And we do online marketing from like A to Z for our clients.
Yeah. And where do you specialize in particularly?
My background is actually in tracking and in paid advertising. So the demand gen campaigns that we're going to talk about today is an example of that.
Yeah. And the title is 10 tips for successful demand gen using SAA.
Yeah.
What can the people expect today?
I think that they'll learn a lot about demand gen campaign type from Google Ads for the B2B business. And I will share 10 tips in order to get them on top of the campaigns and get better with the results.
Yeah, that's it. I would say let's start.
So let's dive right in. 10 tips for successful demand gen campaigns regarding SEA. We already had the brief introduction, so let's skip that. My goal for today is to get you as enthusiastic as I am regarding demand gen campaigns in the B2B marketing. You will know what B2B strategy seems to deliver the best results. Be aware that it's based on our own internal data. And if you apply the tips that I give you today, hopefully you will get better results in your own demand gen campaigns. So first up, what is demand gen? And it's really like a visual a possibility you have in promoting your product or your service to your target audience. And initially it was in Gmail, in a Discover feed, or in YouTube. I'll get back to you later on this in this webinar because Google actually added some other placements as well, the display network. But as you see in these examples, it's really like a visual, attractive way of advertising in the interface of Google. So we actually have our own little demand gen secret. We call it the ABC RBC. It's like really easy one to remember. A stands for audiences, B is for the bidding strategy, C for creatives, R for reporting, the B for budget setting, and the C for campaign structure. And we will handle each letter in this webinar. First up is the audiences. The first party data is really key in your demand gen. And that is because within the demand gen campaigns, you're able to use lookalike targeting. You can reconnect with old leads, you can reconnect with old clients. And this is a feature that is at this moment exclusively available in demand gen campaigns. So I really would suggest to use the lookalike possibilities in your demand gen campaigns. You can use it in three ways. You can use it like the narrow target group with a 2.5% comparison. You have the balanced target group, 5%, and the broad target group, 10%. And if you look at it logically, and this same applies for like Meta lookalike or LinkedIn, similar audiences, the narrower you get, the better the results will be. So the broad target group, which is 10%, is really outperforming underperforming in comparison with the other target groups that you have in demand gen. In our own data, we see that in 88% of the cases, the broad target group is underperforming the average metrics. And in 72% of the cases, the lookalike targeting is actually outperforming the other audiences that you can target within Google Ads, like the native targeting options that you have in the demand gen campaigns. So that actually sums it up pretty nice why you should use lookalike targeting. One other thing that I would like to show you regarding audiences in demand gen campaigns is the custom intent function. You can create a custom audience segment based on your high converting keywords from your search campaign, for example, and then put that audience in your demand gen campaign. And this is also something that we see that seems to work pretty well in like the majority of the campaigns that we are running at the moment. So next up is the B for bidding strategy. And there's only one thing I can say here, actually, and that is test it yourself. We have examples in which maximize clicks delivered the best results. We also have examples where maximize conversion value was working better. Sometimes you think maximize conversion value will probably work the best there, and then this maximize clicks was working the best. So test it for yourself. Think logical. This is like a screenshot that I took from the Google Ads interface, where Google is saying, okay, these are the bidding strategies and the daily budgets that we are actually advising. Don't look at that too much. Just think logical and test it for yourself. Be aware, we're really seeing like the worst results in the campaign metrics, but looking in like the attribution report, we come to realize that the demand gen campaigns were actually really valuable to us. Due to, for example, view-through conversions. So look at the attribution reports as well. Then what is, I think, besides the A for audiences, the most important one to look into your demand gen campaigns is a C for creative. Sorry. So regarding creatives, it doesn't matter what Google tells you. Videos seem to work best if it's a high quality video. So for example, in social media nowadays, like with meta campaigns, we see a lot of assets working pretty well where people are like shooting the videos themselves just with the telephone in their hand. That's not the case in demand gen campaigns. Well, at least it's not the case in like the B2B demand gen campaigns that we are running. High quality video is really important. If you don't have high quality video, simply just use only the images. If you do have high quality video, use the high quality video and the images as well. What's also funny to mention, because I can only imagine that a lot of the people in the audience are actually running LinkedIn campaigns as well, because obviously LinkedIn campaigns are really handy for B2B marketing. So we tested some clients where we were running LinkedIn campaigns besides the demand gen campaigns. And we were actually trying to figure out whether or not using the same creatives on both platforms is working well in comparison with using different creatives. And we saw that the CTR is 11.6% higher in demand gen campaigns where we use the same video as we did for LinkedIn. And on LinkedIn, we also see an uplift. There's a 4.8% higher CTR where LinkedIn campaigns are using the same creatives as the demand gen campaigns. I think that is due to recognition. The target audience has seen like the demand gen videos and are seeing them on LinkedIn as well, vice versa. But that's not something that I can really, make it hard. It's like hard evidence. It's just a feeling that we have, but the statistic doesn't lie, obviously. Regarding the creatives, make sure to check all the placement options and specifications you have for the creatives. So that's really easy in the interface. For example, here you can see it's a Dutch ad, but you see how the ad looks like in the Discover feed, and you can click on YouTube or Gmail to see how it will look on those platforms. So yeah, make sure to check all the placement options and the specifications for those creatives. This is an update that Google has released in August 2024. This is regarding the display network. You now have the possibility to checkmark the Google Video Partners, which will enable Google Video Partners for all your video ads. It's a fancy name, Google Video Partners, but it basically means it will show you ads in a display network. And to be honest, if you're like me and you have some experience with display campaigns, you probably don't want to use the display network. It's most of the time low quality websites that your ads are being placed on, which means low quality traffic and no leads or bad leads, for example. So be aware of that. Next up is the R for reporting. And again, you've seen the slide before. I really want to emphasize in this one. We've seen like the worst results in the campaign metrics, but looking at the attribution report made us realize that demand gen campaigns were actually more important to us than it looks like in the first place. And you could use like the Google Ads interface with that one, but you can also use third-party attribution tools like Billy Grace, for example, or Nordbeam, which is also a good solution for this. This was something that I saw on LinkedIn a couple of months ago, and it's something that we see a lot with our clients as well. We get like brand awareness videos where we should use for our campaigns, but the clients tend to look at the results based with the conversion glasses, like, hey, it isn't converting, therefore it isn't working. And this is something that Nava Hopkins, one of the brightest people I know in the PPC business, she posted on LinkedIn asking the audience, okay, what role will video play in your 2024 campaigns? And the majority is saying top of funnel awareness. And it's really something, it's really recognizable. We tend to shoot videos for brand awareness, for top of funnel content, but we tend to look at the results on like conversion value. But you can't expect top of funnel content to be high converting content. You know, if you have a video with like a strong call to action, an audience which is hot and already ready to convert, then it's a different case. But if you are targeting a cold audience with like a brand awareness video, you can't expect that to be high converting content. So be aware of that when you are reporting for yourself internally or to stakeholders. Which is really nice in a demand gen campaigns are the fact that we have the possibility for some lift studies. So we have like a brand lift, a search lift, and a conversion lift. If you want to show your stakeholders the true value of demand gen campaigns regarding brand awareness, regarding an uplift in your search terms, or regarding an uplift in your conversion, I really would suggest to have a look at these lift studies. Be aware, a demand gen click or a Google Ads click anyway is not always like a GA4 session. There's always a difference between the two numbers. And we've seen that in demand gen campaigns, the difference is even higher compared to search campaigns. So what you could do in order to get a little bit of feeling about this is to import your GA4 session start event as a secondary conversion in Google Ads to simply just compare the metrics, make a different column for the session start event to see how the amount of clicks compared to the session start event, or use your Google Ads conversions for future data. If you are using your demand gen campaigns for your B2B targeting, you should have a look at the Leadinfo possibilities, because what I mentioned before, within the LinkedIn advertising interface, you have the possibility to see which companies, which job roles, which job functions have had some interaction with your ads, but you don't have that information in your Google Ads account. If you connect your Google Ads account with your Leadinfo account, you can basically see in the Leadinfo in the Leadinfo portal, which campaigns drove which companies to your website, and you can determine if that's high value companies or not. So that's also a tip that I strongly suggest today. Then we go to the B of budget setting, and this is like the most simple sheet that I've ever made. Never listen to your Google rep, especially when it comes to budgets. You know, I think, yeah, you can see it here. If you have a look at the daily budget that Google is recommending regarding demand gen campaigns and the different bidding strategies, you will see that it's always a pretty high number. Well, at least $100 a day is, in my opinion, pretty high, and it's not always necessary. So I really suggest start testing on your common knowledge with a daily budget that fits your company or fits your lead value. And know that if you have a Google rep, and you know, there are some differences between a Google rep which is really good and a Google rep which is really good for Google. So take what they are saying, but don't look at it from their perspective. You know, try to think logical and look at it from your perspective. Is this really what I should do, or is this something that Google that wants me to do? Again, start testing on your common knowledge. What we do see in the demand gen campaigns that we are running is that it seems to work better in an existing account where there's already conversion data in place compared to setting up a new account. So if you're new to demand gen, try to do it in the same account that you are already running Google Ads in. And I think that is because of there's already some learnings for the algorithm that the tool will pick up for your demand gen campaigns. Obviously, you need to make sure that you need, you know, server side tracking. You have to set up enhanced conversions. Also really important, offline conversion tracking. You know, you want to optimize not to clicks. You don't want to optimize regarding leads. No, you want to optimize to your end goal, which is clients. And as soon as you push back to Google the data of which click became a client and which click became a lead and which lead became a client, push that data back to Google, and then the algorithm will steer on getting as much clients and not only steering on getting traffic or leads. So the last one that I want to mention is the C for campaign structure. And what's really important in demand gen campaigns is that you need to consolidate. As soon as you have 50 conversions a month, it's a different story. Preferable even more. But if you don't have enough data, make sure to just put one ad group live. A single campaign with separate ad groups based on audience conversion value as a structure is in the end what we would like. But if you don't have enough conversion data, or if you don't have like different goals for different campaigns, just put it in one campaign in one ad group. And based on our own data, the threshold is like 50. So if you have like 50 conversions a month, then there's the possibility to split your ad group or split your audiences into different ad groups. But again, you need to reach those 50 conversions a month for each ad group. I'm not saying that this is like the holy grail. This is just basically what we are seeing in our accounts. You could test it yourself. But this is basically also what Google is saying to us regarding the threshold of the volume data. If you don't have enough conversion volume to get to those 50 conversions a month, or again, preferable even more, maybe you could have a look at optimizing towards like a step higher in the funnel. So that's also something that you could try. Then we go to the point where you probably already signed up for, the 10 tips for your demand gen campaigns. So the first one is, and I mentioned it earlier, demand gen seems to work better in an existing account with conversion data. So if you are running a new Google Ads account, I would suggest to start other campaign types first to get some traction going. We actually saw an 80.7% higher conversion rate in an existing account compared to a new account regarding the demand gen campaigns, and a 23% lower CPA. The second tip is that you don't want to compare your demand gen campaigns with like the discovery campaigns. Basically, Google introduced demand gen as a substitution of the discovery campaigns, but they're completely different. You now have more placements where you could advertise on. You have more control over those placements. You could add lookalike targeting, and there are some lift studios. There's a typo on the slide that said live studios, but it's lift studios. Those were all not possible with discovery campaigns. So they're completely different. Don't tend to focus on, no, but my discovery campaigns were running like this, and now demand gen is running like this. No, it's really different. Don't compare those two. Same applies for demand gen versus PMax. I've heard a lot of people talking about they don't use demand gen because we are already using PMax, and the placement of PMax has like an overlap on the demand gen placement. Don't do it. Demand gen could be an addition to your PMax campaign. It's completely different. You have more control on the placements, for example, which at the moment you don't have in PMax unless you maybe are using the Mike Road script. But in this screenshot, you will see the difference between Performance Max and Demand Gen regarding how to use it, the bidding, the audiences, and the channels. But you could really use it as an addition to your Performance Max campaigns. The fourth tip, and that's also something that I mentioned before, is have a look at your attribution data. You will see more assisted conversion value for Demand Gen campaigns that you probably will see in the interface at first. So have a look at the attribution reports or maybe the third-party attribution tools that I mentioned before, but don't shoot down the Demand Gen campaigns based on what you are seeing in the interface at first. In fact, 91.8% of the cases we see a large portion of assisted conversions for Demand Gen. So tip number 5, we have the ABC RBC, but as mentioned, the audiences and the creatives are like the most important. And I think creatives are maybe even outweighing the A of audiences. You really should upload all the aspect ratios to cover the most placements regarding your creatives. Campaigns with videos have an 11% higher conversion rate compared to image-only campaigns, and the CPA is even 49% lower. Again, that's based on our own internal data, but it gives you some feeling about the importance of video campaigns, video ads. If you are using those video ads, make sure to control your video placements, because if you upload a video in a short format, which is vertical, you only want to show it in YouTube Shorts and not in Stream, which is horizontal. If you are in the interface, it's not like hidden. You know, that is something that really stood up when you are uploading your assets. So make sure to mark the right placement for the right video. Tip number 7 is optimize your campaigns with logic sense. You know, exclude your irrelevant placement. Use all the functions Google is giving you to feed your algorithm. Again, offline conversion tracking. But the biggest mistake that I'm seeing being made in the demand gen campaigns optimization is the fact that people tend to optimize too soon. If possible, wait till you get at least 50 conversions a month, or at least 50 conversions, before optimizing your demand gen campaigns. Tip number 8, there are actually some experiment functionalities within demand gen campaigns. At this moment, only regarding creatives and audiences. And as you can see, I've put a statement from Google in, which they made in August 24. We do not recommend testing other variables like bidding and budget at this time. And those last 3 words are basically really important. At this time, this is something that could be possible in the future, should be possible in the future. And if that's possible, you should test it. Otherwise, at this moment, experiment with the possibilities that you have. So experiment with your creatives and the different audiences. Tip number 9, I can't emphasize this too much, but measure your complete funnel, meaning OCT, offline conversion tracking. And that's something that we need to do not only in Google Ads, but also in GA4. And that is because we are actually living in, the era of algorithms and machine learning and AI. And if you want a system to optimize towards what we want, and it's based on data, it's really important to give the system the right data. Because your input, your data, basically determines what the system can do with it and the outcome of what the system will give you. So the better the data is that we are giving the system, the better the output will be. Meaning, the better the algorithm will optimize towards what you want in your demand gen campaigns. So how do we do that? Measurement is a must. As mentioned before, we don't want to measure only clicks. We don't want to measure only leads. You want to measure the end goal, which is clients. And if possible, even the clients with a customer lifetime value. Push that data back to Google Ads and make sure that the algorithm will start optimizing towards that. So if you are measuring the offline conversion, don't only do it in Google Ads, you can do it in GA4 as well. Because you want to make sure that your GA4 is up to date. It's a little bit technical and difficult, but you can enrich your data in GA4 with your offline conversion tracking, because the client ID is actually always available in your GA4 reports. If you have a website where people can log in, it's called a user ID. But in the Explorer feature, you will see the client ID listed for each individual user. And you can send this information to your CRM system for every lead on your website. As soon as that lead becomes a client, you can send that data back to GA4 and they can connect the dots between the client ID and the form that was being sent on the website. The only thing is, at this moment, the filling in of the form and the becoming the client needs to occur within 72 hours. If not, it's not possible to do the offline conversion tracking in GA4. So you need to be aware of that. But if you have a small life cycle of lead to sale, within 72 hours, I really would strongly like you to do this in GA4. So the last tip, and maybe the most important one, is follow the updates. There are so many updates at this moment for demand gen campaign types. Google is really pushing demand gen to the audience. So I have some slides coming up with the latest updates that Google has pushed. This is the first example. There were coming new ad types. So have a look at the advanced plans. This is already in place at the moment. There's a link below where you can see the information about this topic. This is being released in January 2025, if I'm correct. There are some new attribution columns in which demand gen gets more credit. So this kind of aligns with what I was saying before, that demand gen is actually undervalued if you look at the interface, but it deserves more value if you look like attribution reports. So with the new attribution columns, demand gen actually gets those credits. The future of video active campaigns is actually basically in demand gen, because video action campaigns will turn into demand gen campaigns. This is being released in September, and we are actually recording this video in March 2025. And at this point, you are no longer able to create new video action campaigns in Google Ads, and the remaining video action campaigns will be upgraded to demand gen in the next quarter of 2025. And this is basically how it could look like, going from stills into videos for your campaigns. This is also a really nice feature, Demand Gen Impulse. It's like a looker dashboard that helps to identify if your campaigns and assets are following the best practices and provides actionable insights. Be aware, we're talking about the best practices in the eyes of Google. So you really need to look past the Google glasses. There's a link below where you can have a look at this dashboard. It's on GitHub, the official Google GitHub actually. The possibilities for the creations are actually increasing. So as I mentioned before, you really need to upload every aspect ratio that there's available, and it's increasing at a time as well. So Google is still updating new possibilities regarding ad creation in Demand Gen. So a quick summarize for those 10 tips into 9 really practical takeaways. Remember the shortcut that we have. Try to have at least 50, but if possible, like 100 conversions a month. Set realistic expectations and KPIs. So if you are using it for brand awareness, you don't need to measure the conversions. Well, at least you have to measure the conversions, but don't, how do you say it? Don't tend to look at the campaigns with the conversions in mind. Oh no, this campaign is not working, but because we aren't getting enough conversions. No, it's a branding campaign with branding assets. So look at branding KPIs such as reach. Understand the value of assisted conversions. Control your placements. Don't go too fast. So don't optimize as soon as you have like at least 50 conversions. Give the algorithm some time. Use the experience possibilities regarding audiences and creatives. Measurement is key. So really use offline conversion tracking. I think this is the 3rd time I've said it this webinar already. Follow the news for updates. And that's basically what I had for you today. Thank you very much for having me. Feel free to reach out to me on LinkedIn if you have some questions, and maybe till next time.
Well, thanks. Quite a lot of, well, actually 10 good tips how to get going with this. I can imagine a lot of people sitting at home thinking, whoa, that was a lot of information. Yeah. Any help for them?
Yeah, there is a download link with the 10 tips in one place.
Yeah.
And they can reach out to me. There's a QR code to my LinkedIn profile. If they have questions or want an audit for their campaigns, feel free to reach out.
Okay, so that will automatically be sent to you. So again, if you have questions, reach out to Lars. He's always happy to help.
Yeah.
And that concludes our webinar. I say thank you for watching, and hope we'll see you next time.